Hello, loves. How are you? I know that you are really ready for me right now. I know that you are really ready for this reading right now. I can feel you on the edge of your seat and wanting to know, what is this? What is this? Why am I so fried? Why am I so frazzled? Why am I so emotional? Why am I so bitchy? Why am I so irritable? Why is everything changing so quickly? Okay, so this is going to be a lot of, I can already feel that this is going to be a lot of energy-based information because it's been coming through like crazy the past couple days, like say this, say this, say this, and they're just really kind of different things. So one of the let's just jump right into this. The biggest thing that has happened to us right now is that there's been this sort of tilt with the earth, and it's why several days ago all of a sudden everybody was having really big balance problems. You were having things that just made you feel off center and just a little not right and a little nauseous and a little sick to your stomach and not feeling okay. And also another element of it is just really kind of confusion of like, are we safe? Has something really bad happened? Is something really bad on the way? And none of that is really true. There's not really bad things on the way. But because this thing is taking us off balance, and it's just a small shift, but what it is that we're all right now really being tested to see how much we can stay in our core and stay solid when things kind of get rocky, like if you're out like paddle boating or something, and you know you have to like learn to get your body balanced in a way of having to manage this watery current that's changing, yet still keep your head up and then focus on things out in the world. So all of us just kind of have been like, whoa, what's happening? What's going on? I don't feel grounded. And you know, okay, I didn't know that. So what this, we already had one of these before, and that started changing the weather patterns in different locations of the world. So this is kind of riding it back to getting a little more normal into our alignment with the weather patterns. I'm like, really? Okay. So we've already kind of had one of these, and now it's kind of riding itself, but it's different than what we knew, so it's throwing us off balance. And what it's doing is that people who don't even know what their core is, or people who haven't even really embraced this awakening movement, and people who aren't really conscious anyway and are escaping a lot in this world anyway, are the ones that are kind of toppling over from this shifting of the earth. So this shift has them really falling to pieces and really collapsing and really losing their minds and really freaking out like the chickens with the heads cut off. But they don't understand what's going on. And because that's in such a mass, collective, mainstream scene, everybody who's sensitive is really feeling this. So everybody who is sensitive is feeling how everybody's losing their mind, everybody's short-circuiting, everybody's like freaking out. And so it's mostly kind of coming from people who aren't grounded anyway and who don't have that ability to just come into your core, come into your safe space, come into your power place. But because it's so collective and big, everybody is really being tested now to see if they can maintain that balance and understand that a lot of this energy is other people. It's others around you. If you do have the luxury of being alone and not being too much out in the world or around other people, you'll quickly see that you can maintain your moods and you can maintain your balance. But because there's so much You know, even if you can imagine, like right now we're moving like click, 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 and eventually we're going to be going like this. So eventually it's going to be really smooth, but right now it's just like, I mean, this is like the best way to explain it, actually. It's just like, it's not coherent, it's not smooth, it's not fun to experience. It has all of us just like, you know, if we have to go out in the world, if we have to interact with others, most likely you're just going to start twitching with this energy right now because people are freaking out. And, you know, same thing like when there is an earthquake, or same thing when you have some kind of disaster in your life. It malfunctions you, it short circuits you. So because that's happening to so many people, it's the backlash is kind of getting all of us. It's kind of like swinging back at all of us right now. So no matter what, most likely you're feeling that. But there's actually another side of this, and a lot of people are already over in it, you know, because I always like to say we're always in line in life. So we're always waiting for things to happen to us. But a lot of these transits will, you know, we'll be in the thick of it and having a nightmare, and then 2 days later we're in heaven, while other people who were in heaven are now having a nightmare. So there's waves to this. You know, there's the up, yay, everything's wonderful, and there's a really big, yay, everything's wonderful wave right now that's super creative, that's super motivated, that's super inspired to make all these changes and do all these things. So just know if you're down in that wave of, you know, I want to die, I can't handle this, something is wrong with me, I'm freaking out, if you're in that one, just know that the wave is going to eventually pull you to the top, and then there's going to be lots of inspiration that comes to you from that dark bottom part of the wave. And another really big part of that bottom part of the wave is that things are going in that way that isn't really coherent, isn't comfortable, is not smooth at all. But actually what it's really kind of showing you is changes that you need to make in regards to what you're doing, who you're with, where you live, who you associate with. And, you know, a lot of the changes can be kind of fun, though. They don't have to be looked at as drastic negative things. A lot of things can just be like, I'm taking on too much, I need to hand over duties to somebody else. You know, I was going on this path, but now I need to tweak some things and maybe make a right turn and try it out in this other way. You know, so the changes don't have to be that overly dramatic, but there are a lot of changes that a lot of us are needing to make, and we're going to be coming to the insight of those in that frazzled, unplugged, short-circuited, freaking out space. But because we do all know, you know, how to find our centers and how to ground ourselves in changing, fluctuating weathers, we are the ones who are then going to be able to start holding this space of it's going to be okay. Because right now, I mean, like I said, this is, you know, the third year of the boot camp years, but this is the one that's really hardcore, and that's why we've gotten really kicked into gear right away with this year switching into the 2515 vibration. So this vibration of this year is seriously kicking us into do it. You just have to do it now. You just have to change it. You have to go for what you want. You have to let go of these things. And if you think about that too, like we had such a powerful full moon of letting go. And you know, when you think about when you detox and you let go of things, you don't feel really hot. You know, you don't feel really good when you're detoxing. So imagining that a lot of people have been letting go of things and have been forced to let go of things, and it's kind of messy out there right now with all these things being flung around and all these just clutter and nasty and dirty. And so that's a big thing. I'm so tired, so you can probably tell. And I just got out of bed too. I was like, I have to do this right away because I have such a busy schedule. Hold on. but I'm definitely at, I wake up wide awake, and right now I'm really like, I'm exhausted. So, okay, see, there's so much. Let me organize. So that's why you're feeling fragmented, frazzled, and pretty much uncomfortable in the world right now. But if you can get into your own space, do so, because you'll see quickly that you start to have more rational thoughts about what's going on. You're not so much, because it's so vocal right now too. So everybody is blaring and throwing their emotional drama everywhere. Everybody is very vocal about losing their minds, and if you're sensitive, it's just really upsetting. You know, it's really upsetting, I think, for a lot of people who are sensitive too, and especially who have been on the healing path for a while, is that you hear the mistakes that we all have to learn from. You know, we're all learning. You know, life is really about like having a car with these bumper walls, and we do go into the walls often, you know, but we learn from them, you know. So, you know, they're cushions, so they swing us back to center, but life is constantly a learning lesson. But when you've been on it and learning for a while, you really can, it can really short circuit you sometimes, being around people who are so doing everything they've read about not to do, and everything that they're in scenes learning how to not do this stuff, and then push comes to shove, and you're really in those dark moments, and they're doing all of them. So it can be really frustrating to witness that and be like, come on, you know you're not supposed to do it that way. You know that there's a better way out of this. You know this means something. You know you're moving through something. You know you're healing something. You know, so it can also at the same time be really frustrating, because you're looking at people who you know how to do this, but once that push comes to shove, they short circuit, their heads get chopped off like a chicken, and then they're out there losing it with everybody else. So a lot of us are getting really hardcore tests right now, so just know that. So I do encourage you to be alone as much as you can right now, because it's coming back at you, and it's the best way I can describe it is it's like it's emotional drama. It's even like emotionally manipulative drama that's kind of been passed down from generations to generations, and it's a way that we have communicated to what we think is the way to get what we want or to be heard. But what we're not realizing, or what we are realizing, is that it's pushing people away, or it's triggering them, or it's making them not want to be around you. And it was funny because I thought of this the other day, because what happens right now, I've been so busy for so many months. Like, I wasn't even kidding you about how I don't get a day off till March. I'm actually going to have to shut everything down, because I'm like, I'm so tired. I need some me time. But what happens right before these readings is that all of a sudden, just, it's like all of the guides and angels and everyone starts coming forward and like with topics, and then this and that and this and that and then that. So I was out hiking the other day, and I was like, you know, because this is really communications based. So what we're really going to be waking to for a lot of us is how we communicate in saying what we need to get our point across, so that people want to give us what we want, and want to make our life easier, and want to be there for us, instead of the way we've been used to responding, where like a big baby when we don't get our way, and really kind of pushing people away. So, you know, we have this thing like someone's, you know, is driving too slow in front of us, and then we get stopped at a light and we want to hate on them. You know, so, you know, things happen in life and we just quickly get so frustrated. Our thing is not here yet, we're frustrated. We ordered this thing, it's not here yet, we're frustrated. This thing came in the wrong way, we're frustrated. We just so quickly lash. We've also gotten so used to computers and phones, and we just beat people up. You know, we just You know, think about working customer service jobs or your internet's down. How many people are rational with those people? You know, instead we get on there and we're so pissed off because we planned on watching these movies tonight and we don't have any internet and we're just pissy, 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 you know, and what we're not realizing is, one, that's karma that's swinging back so quickly now. But it's just not really the way to treat people. You know, we have to learn these new skills in handling life when we're not getting our way, and in learning to trust more when things aren't going the way that we think they should be going, and learning to just surrender more into, well, I thought it was going to happen today, it hasn't, so maybe tomorrow. You know, really kind of taking these more sunshiny, trusting ways with life instead of instantly getting so pissed off and so irrational and so grumpy and so, because this energy is going to do that. So let me let you know about that. You know, something's going to not go your way and instantly you're going to throw your hands up and throw your head back and, oh my God, are you kidding me? You know, so do know that that's what's going to happen anyway, but it's happening for you to then feel so guilty afterwards, to feel so rotten and nasty for being so irrational and mean and rude to people because you're not getting your way or because things aren't working out with your timeline. And things aren't going to work out in our timeline a lot right now. I don't think things have worked in my timeline for months. I've been joking about, I've had Mercury retrograde for months with nothing showing up right, and but constantly being tested to see how I can handle dealing with these things when I planned on Tuesday, you know, and now it's Tuesday and it's not here. So do expect that you're going to be tested with that, but you know, we have to be more, and I love that, you know, yesterday was Martin Luther King Day in the United States, and holiday, and I love that that's right before this new moon. I was out driving and living, what's that guy, Talis Smiley or something? Every year they play his speeches, and he's so good at it. And every time this year I go, I need to look that guy up because I love the way he talks and I love how he does speeches, and I don't necessarily like a lot of people speeches. I don't bond with everybody. Some people can really annoy me if they're too overly dramatic, you know. So but he's really good at it. So every year I think I want to like research that guy. But I was just out driving and I was like, God, it's so amazing that this one lines up with this first new moon of 2015, and that's kind of really cool because it is, you know, so much about, I mean, his messages were so much, but in all these things that we're still working on, you know, because he was prophetic and ahead of the times. But it's about like this love of humanity and love for our brothers and sisters, and we can have all this lip service with that kind of stuff, but then things don't go our way or how we planned, and we totally turn into these nasty, hurtful bitches that are slinging negative energy at other people because we're pissed off that we did not get our way. You know, and that totally needs to be transformed from us. That needs to be gone. We just need to be these like, okay, move on. I'll do something else then. You know, it didn't work out like I planned. So do expect that you're going to be awoken to that right now in your body, and how you've treated people and how you've treated especially strangers that, you know, you go into a store and you're out of that one thing you wanted, and you know, and then you're acting like so insanely bitchy and pissed off and flinging this emotionally manipulative energy out there, because that energy is I'm sorry, I'm trying to get all these things out. There's so much, so I'm going to go back and forth. But the reason it's even more important is, you know, we've noticed this sped up instant manifestation for several years now. It seems like it really started to be something that was recognized like 2007 or something. And I was like, gosh, things are fast. But right now, they're lightning speed fast. So if you go smart talking all sassy and bitchy with that customer service person on the phone, you pretty much are going to walk into something else real quick, same day. You know, you're pretty much going to have somebody doing the exact same thing to you. So that's one reason people can really be in this vicious cycle right now and can't get out of it, because they keep flinging this emotional manipulative energy, and then it keeps coming right back at them. So then they're given another opportunity to see if they'll do it, and then they do it again, and then it flings right back at them. So they're getting another opportunity to do it, and they do it, so it flings right back at them. So they're given another opportunity. So they're in this thing, and they just need to stop. You know, stop flinging the emotional garbage baggage at other people because you're a pissy little baby who's not getting your way. You know, and this is all of us. I have had a couple situations where I did it, and I so regretted it, and it totally came right back at me. And it was with customer service, internet stuff, not working out the way I wanted. And so I recognized right away that that was coming right back to me. But one of the things I want you to understand is that we all mess up in life. We're driving down that road with bumper walls, those soft cushioned walls. So, oh, that didn't work. Come back to center. Oh, I shouldn't have really gone in that direction. Come back to center. So we're all messing up. We're all learning from our mistakes. And the number one rule right now is that it's okay if you mess up, but you need to apologize right away and explain yourself. And you know how I kind of, you know, and another part of this is that is so okay. So imagine that somebody comes at you and just totally dumps their emotional drama on you, and in a manipulative kind of way. And let me go back even further to tell you, to explain this a little more, but what came to me several days ago is that this energy is like everybody, and all moms out there, don't take offense, because you have moms too, so you know what I'm talking about. But there's this way that our moms can talk to us that totally pisses us off. You know, it totally short circuits us with these things like, but I've been trying to call you and you haven't called me back. And then some kind of overly dramatic, but is something wrong? Is da 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 da? And every time, you know, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm just busy. Why do you have to word it that way? Why do you have to say it in a way that totally triggers me? You know, so everybody's laughing because you know this is what happens, and we always kind of, it's a mom thing for some reason, and it's been passed down the passed down the line. But everybody's doing that right now. Everybody's kind of fallen into that mom way of doing this kind of emotionally manipulative communicating to get what they want, and making things very dramatic to get what they want. But what it's doing is it's pissing everybody off and pushing them away. So there's different ways to do that, you know, to get what you want, and that's what we're waking to. How can I communicate this stuff so that I get what I want? How can I say, hey, where have you been? I've been missing you. I would love to talk to you. You know, that one was engaging. That one was like, oh my God, I need to call my mom. That's, you know, that saying it like that makes you open. But doing that, but da da da, but I've called 17 times. That's what my mom would say to me. Or no, I don't mean that, but I mean like it would take 17 calls because I'm so bad with, and I just don't check messages and things like that. So people can give me that one often, but it's not. That doesn't really need to come into the equation, does it? Does it, like putting them down, making them feel bad, making them feel wrong? You know, that kind of stuff doesn't really need to be in the piece of getting what you want. That's not magnetizing. You know, that's not manifesting energy. That's pushing it away. You know, that's making them not want to deal with you, not want to be around you. So so that's what's going on. Now, with this energy, one thing that you can okay, so here's what, so somebody comes at you with this emotional drama, okay? And just da-da-da. What you are completely allowed to do, 100%, and I've even been doing this with people doing it to me, you are completely allowed to mirror that. So you're completely allowed to bring that very same thing back at them in a way that is showing them what they gave you, the energy of what they gave you, and you're allowed to give that back to them for them to see what they gave you. It doesn't have to be nasty and mean, but there's still a way to, you know, kind of like that, you know, like I don't feel good because of, or however you do that communicating thing where you're supposed to say, but I feel da 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 da, and I don't think you're supposed to say because, so I don't know how you do it, but something like that, I feel whatever, whatever. So you can still like bring it back to them to show kind of how it made you feel. Now here's the thing, if they come back to you, if they are on your level, if they are someone who is really interested in healing and making their life better and walking their spiritual talk, they are going to come back at you with, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I've just had so much going on, I'm just like stressed out over this. They're instantly going to diffuse the energy. So that means they came together, you mirrored it, and then they came back without having to do number 2. Because number 2 is saying, but da 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 da. You know, 2 is continuing the emotional baggage. And that's not what we're supposed to do. We're always supposed to be diffusing the energy. So the person comes with the emotional drama, you come back and mirror it, which is exactly what you should be doing. Anybody with anything we do, it should be mirrored for us to see. And then if they come back at you like da 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 da, you need to pull back because you never want to get to 2. You can keep it at 1, never go to 2. 1, mirror it, but never come back and continue this da da da, but you da 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 da. That is not growing, that is not evolving. That is saying that you're still having this ego, need to be right, need to put people in their place issues. So do be aware of that when this kind of stuff happens. What we're supposed to do is to apologize and to diffuse the energy. But it is okay that, you know, we first had an irrational thing with somebody. It's kind of how we're learning. We're still with those bumper cars. You know, we're still learning this stuff. So to know that we're going to say the wrong things full of emotional, energetic drama is kind of understandable. That's kind of what we're learning from right now. We're learning our way out of that, though. And in learning our way out of it, it's instantly bringing the correction to it so that when somebody mirrors you what you just did to them, the very next step is to just in some way let it go. In some way diffuse that energy so that then it's not becoming this combative thing of, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. Well, I'm going to da-da-da-da-da. Well, I'm going to da-da-da-da-da. Because that's the old world way. And that's how we dealt with things before. Well, I'm going to go da-da. Well, you're da-da-da-da-da. Well, da-da-da-da-da. And the only thing you can do when you're in that energy of somebody else who wants to play that game is walk away and diffuse it. And that's where you just go, okay, yeah, I understand your side of this. And, you know, and whatever, to not now come together with that 2. You know, you can come 1, you mirror it, but don't do 2. Don't come back again, or you're asking for trouble. So that's what we're kind of realizing. How can we communicate so that we get what we want? How can we communicate with others so that there's harmony and not war and the needing to prove somebody else wrong or needing to make yourself right? Because that's really just a sign that there's a lot of things that you still need to heal about yourself that aren't in alignment with what you're intellectualizing, what you are intellectualizing yourself to be. Because intellectualizing yourself to be something is different than walking it, as we all know now. And I thought about that the other day too. I was like, when did we get that intellectualizing it isn't diddly squat? And it almost just seems like it had to be something in the past several years, you know, because before we thought, I read all these books and then I am this thing. I read all these books and I'm knowledgeable on this thing. I read all these books and I am awakened. And then something in, I don't know, 2011, something like that, or even sooner, 9 maybe, but something shifted so that now we know intellectualizing it is nothing. Gemini stuff is just up here. It's not deep. It's not real. It's not walking it. It's thinking it, thinking it. And now we know that, you know, I was thinking about that too. I was like, God, you know, being younger, you know, someone who is considered smart is really just somebody who has really good, like, Gemini memorization skills. But that's how we thought of someone, as that person's smart because they have all these answers for things. But, you know, now we know there's like this street smart, like there's this other kind of thing with wisdom, and it's in walking it. It's in like taking the intellectualized version of it and then really being it, really walking it, really like being an example, you know, with that energy out in the world. So that's what we're trying to bring those together. You know, we might have all this intellectual information in our brains, but like, let's go put it to the test now. Let's see how we do this. Let's see how, if we really can communicate in a way that is honoring of human beings, instead of, like, you know, getting all pissy when we don't get our way and then suddenly acting like a baby, but being like, oh, but I'm a spiritual person, so that's okay, you know. But really thinking about what we're giving to that person, thinking about how heavy of an emotional weight that is to throw things on people like that. I mean, think about people who work like phone customer service. Like, they like tend to be alcoholics, because how else do you handle having that much mean energy thrown at you every day? Like, how do you work a job where people so quickly short circuit and mouth off to saying things that they would never say to somebody face to face? You know, so they're like, this is so heavy, I just need to go, you know, drink it off all night, because I had to deal with so many people being so mean to me and saying such mean things to me. So we have to bring that into high vibration, you know, and have to bring that into, and like I said, it's a learning process. Nobody is perfect at this yet, but we're learning. And that's where, you know, when somebody mirrors back to you what you just did, your job is to now humble yourself and diffuse the energy with, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk to you like that. I've just had so much going on, and my kid just da 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 da, and I'm da 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 da, you know, and then instantly that energy is diffused, because it's like, okay, that's cool, thank you so much for apologizing. So do understand that apologizing is not a weakness, that apologizing is healing. And because we're all, you know, walking this healed path of becoming the best people as we can be, this means we mess up a lot. And what we have to do is just bring it back to the humble space and bring it back to, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk to you like that. I had to, you know, it's funny with that, I have this thing with my classroom, and I've been dealing with all these problems that nobody else has on this platform. But I'm in my the last days of my Uranus opposition, so of course I'm messing up everybody's systems. I'm finding all the bugs that nobody else would, and I've just really been, it's so frustrating that it's been really hard to be sane, and I've had to apologize so many times now. I'm sorry again. But so what's so funny is the videos weren't recording, these live calls weren't recording, and so they wanted me to do all these samples, and I did this sample, and I bitched the whole way through it, because I'm like, I'm having to waste my time, and da 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 da, and da 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 da, and so they ended up being able to convert some of them and to make them work manually, but that's the one they sent to me. As we got one done, and I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you for like showing me. But it was so like, oh my gosh, like, and I didn't even remember I did it. I didn't even think anything of it, and they didn't actually, they don't get to listen to them, so they didn't get to hear it actually. But I was still like, oh my gosh, that like came right back at me, because I didn't realize I was recording something and that other people could see it, which they couldn't, but I didn't know that at the time when they sent it back to me. I was just like, oh, okay. But you know, just understand that it's okay to apologize. Understand that it's okay that you are going to mess up. Understand that we have these old habits of dropping emotional drama bombs on people. I'm hurt. I'm mad. I feel betrayed. I want to, you know, fling this thing on you. And what the truth is that as long as we're doing that, things are never really going to go the way we really want in life. And we have to just mature up and wise up and take responsibility for our lives and take responsibility for our actions. And, you know, if we're not acting in that really honorable way, it's going to come back to us in negative ways. And we don't really want to treat people like that, you know. If we were really face to face with them and dealing with them face to face, we wouldn't talk to them that way. But because we're so accustomed to this internet, email, phone call world of not really seeing that it's a human being who has struggles and has things going on, and you know, we don't see them as a human being, so we're more verbally abusive and hateful and da-da-da-da. And we really need to, in this space, awaken to how we are influencing people and affecting people with our words mostly. Like, this one is so much about how do you put your words out there? How do you share your love? How do you, you know, communicate to get what you want? How do you treat people, you know, behind the scenes in emails and phone calls? How do you say this stuff? You know, how would you feel if it came right back at you that same way? Would it feel like a heavy burden? You know, we just need to be a lot cleaner with our communications, and cleaner with how we go about how we have interchanges with others when we're trying to get something for us. So that's going on, as I always say. That's going on. And let me see. So that's the big one, but everybody's fried, frazzled. We went over that. Another thing, this is so funny, and I don't know if you've noticed it. I'm sure some of you had. So there's something with our armpits. Here's one of the energy ones. There's something needing, like you'll notice, like if you're, you know, at the car or something, like waiting for a light, you'll just be like, oh, you know, you're just like needing to open your arms. There's something with like needing to open this space, and when you do it too, you might even like you'll feel a release, and you might even have like tears come up, because there's stuff that's like hidden and buried in there. But there's something with our armpits needing to open. So if you do get into that really stressed kind of space, too much to do that kind of stretch with having your arms up. But I also, when I was told about that, I thought that was funny, because it made me think of like our angel wings blossoming and spreading out more. So it almost seems like it's somehow related to that, this thing of needing to open the arms and really kind of bring space to that armpit area that is normally so, you know, held down and condensed and closed. So it does kind of, it's almost like stepping into those angel wings and really kind of walking that and being that in the world. So do know, you'll start noticing that, you know, at stoplights especially, or just like any opportunity, it's like, get those arms up. They want to be up. They want to be opened. So that's something. Sleeping too has probably been really difficult for people. This one I don't really understand, and I'm not being told why, but there's something that might be happening in the middle of the night where it's almost like electricity is going through you, where you can't hold still, and things are moving, and your legs are moving, and things are just, I remember like something came through about something was on the wrong, like almost like the knobs in our bodies, you couldn't tell which was on and which was off, and it was on when it was supposed to be on off. So the first time that I noticed it, that's what I was told, that it was like, no, don't worry about this. This is supposed to be on and it's off. Or this is supposed to be off and it's on, is I think what it was. So there's some kind of like tweaking kind of things that are going on with our energy that feels like an energy circuit in our bodies. And that exhale just kind of confirmed it. I have that with a deep exhale. But so that could be happening in your sleep. I do know it's not like a long-term thing. It can be like just for a couple minutes. So you might not even awaken from it. You might be able to sleep through it, but it is something that's like adjusting our levels in a way. that will eventually, that's what I was going to say, it's not having this instant effect. So you go, oh my gosh, I feel so much better, I'm da-da-da. It's something that's going bit by bit by bit. So eventually we'll be like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better, da-da-da-da-da. But right now you're like, I don't really feel hot. Something feels a little off. Something doesn't feel okay in my body. But it's something with turning that on to off that has been too much on, and it wasn't supposed to be on and it was supposed to be on off. So there's some kind of like adjustment that's happening with our energy like that, but it'll feel like energy, electricity running through your body in the middle of the night, but just for like a couple minutes. It's something that can't be too much at one time for us. So that's why you'll notice it and then you'll notice it again, and oh yeah, that thing happened again, and then that thing happened again. And I can't remember how long ago it was, but it was something recently. So let's see here. What's going on with the chart? Oh yeah, that's why. That's why I said that. What I love too is that I'm looking at this chart for the first time, and I wasn't even going to do it because I was going to start this, and then I was like, oh, let me just write it up, because I always do. And then, but I love that, like, and this is kind of what I teach in my classes too, is that it's just so much more powerful to feel it first, you know, than to have your mind confirm it. You know, when you can feel it first, it's a whole different thing. But when you have your mind grasp it first, it's not so easy to organically feel it in your body, because your mind has already grasped a hold of it. Oh, it's this. That's why this is happening, because it's this. Whereas, you know, you feel it in your body, and then you confirm it in your mind with intellectualized stuff by like looking at the chart. And then you're like, oh, that's what I was feeling. That's what I was talking about. So, the Pluto. Yeah, and see, that's there too. It's so funny. Everything I'm talking about is already confirmed in this. So yes, definitely, we're in a deep space of healing these hereditary kind of things that are actually considered wounds, because they're not really for the healed part of us. They're not really for the benefit of us. They're actually things that we need to face and let go of and transform and transmute and bring to a higher level. So it's going to be mostly based around our communications, though, and how we say our words to get what we want. And, you know, and just really kind of think about that, like how many times you regretted how you put it out there, or how you worded things to people, and how you dealt with that. Think about relationships. Gosh, I wish I wouldn't have said that. Gosh, why did I put that drama on that person? Why did I? Because it's always to get something from them. You know, whether it's attention, for them to notice you, for them to give you something. But when you do it that way, it just makes them like not like you anymore, or not, you know, want to be around you, or not want to give you what you want. So how can we sugarcoat this stuff? You know, how can we put sugar on our words to get what we want? Instead of always like pushing people away because we're too full of emotional drama when we ask for what we want. So this one too, this is one that very well could be, and I just had it last night, which I'm so happy, but this one could be bringing back friends that I would definitely use this opportunity to make corrections with any kind of altercation or confusion kind of thing that you've had with friends. So this one is going to be a big one with, you know, just realizing that, you know, I love you, you know, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry we just had this argument, and I wish we could go back, and, you know, just do whatever you can to just like, you know, apologize and realize that we don't want to hate people. And this energy right now is really about hating people, you know, and we kind of have to sit in that hating people to then come to the love vibration. But it's really just like, I hate human beings. I hate the way people communicate. I mean, you'll feel that it's a hatred for humanity right now. But that's, you know, we learn so much when we're in the dark. So that's how you bounce back to actually loving them and forgiving them. So do be okay if you're there hating them, but you know, I just had it with, I had this fight with one of my best friends. I don't know, it was like, I think it was back in March or April or May, I can't remember now. But I've been missing her, you know, but she is a Scorpio, and my moon is Virgo in the 8th house, so I'm Scorpio too. So we just had a fight and clashed, and we were both so frustrated and tense at the same moment, and we just lashed at each other. And then just went our separate ways. But she was one of my best friends, so, you know, it was kind of a bummer. But at the same time, I was like, well, you know, I know that people who are really, truly friends, you can't keep them away. You know, eventually, you know, you come back. And then she'd been trying to get a hold of me, but I didn't get the messages because I unfriended her, of course, you know, on Facebook. You're not my friend anymore. And so it went to my others, so I didn't see it. But she finally sent something on Instagram yesterday, and she's, I miss you, and I miss you too. And then, of course, we were on the phone for 3 hours last night, like teenagers, you know. But so understand that that's a possibility, and it was like the best news to me too, because this is someone who was really important to me, and you know. So if you're having something like that, do the same thing that she did. You know, I had to wait for her to come to me because she's a Scorpio. You know that much, but. Do know that you can have that right now. You know, you can have that healing come to things. You can bring, because that's what you want. You don't want to lose friends over some silly, because ours was just that we were both so stressed out at that moment in our life, and we both asked for too much from the other, and it was like, you know, and it wasn't that we hated each other. It wasn't that we don't want to be in each other's lives forever, because we do. It was that we were super stressed and frustrated in that moment, and we said things that weren't really representing how we really felt. We were just stressed. It was like, I have too many burdens right now. Why are you doing this to me? So, you know, that's what a lot of people are feeling right now, but just know that, like, you can fix this stuff, you know, and it's just about apologizing. It's just about, you know, I'm sorry, I still love you, I miss you, you know, it's like, it's simple little, it was 3 little words she sent me, and I was like, I miss you too, you know. So, make that, bridge that gap right now with people. That'll be a big thing with this Mercury, is just to like bring that healing and let it go, and get back with the people you love, and just remember that we love these people, you know. You do. There was just a miscommunication. And miscommunications can be brought into right action by somebody who is a high vibrational being who knows how to apologize and bring the peace. So you are being asked to apologize at these times, bring the peace, and really be conscious of how those words feel that you are delivering to others. Always I say, you know, think about how you would feel giving them, having somebody do that to you, and how good does that feel, you know. So I think we're going to stop there, and I love you. I'm going to do the, yes, and I'm still, like I said, I'm also starting to forget everything, which makes me nervous. I noticed that last night. I was like, what's that word? I can't think of these words. And so you definitely could have that with this energy too. It's going to be mental, and it's going to be fried. You're going to be like, I can't even think. So that's a possibility. See, now I don't even know what I'm talking about. That's how with the written horoscopes, I'm again going to do the little mini version, which actually is really kind of fun. It's 2 hours versus 10 hours. So that's like, they're just kind of more fun because they're so quick. But so I'm going to be doing those again and sending them through email, through the newsletter. So I'll put the newsletter link down below. I'm also going to get those. I haven't even been on my website for weeks. Everything, I can't get to anything. I'm so, there's a lot to do. So everything is being put on hold and wait and all this stuff. But I'm eventually going to load all of those readings that were on the newsletter into my website, because they should be there too, you know. They're brief, it doesn't mean they shouldn't be on my website. So hopefully in the next couple weeks I'm going to be able to get back into my website and actually, like, I haven't even been on it. So the individual readings I'm going to do later tonight when I get done with my day and get done shipping, and And I think I'm going to go sit on the couch. I haven't even sat on the couch in like weeks because everything is in the office morning till night. So I'm going to sit on the couch and write those. I'm so excited. That's like my ice cream treat for the end of the night. But so I'm going to get those out, and then you'll get the emails tonight or first thing in the morning, depending on how the day goes. I never know anymore. So I'm really bad at determining timelines. So like when I say one day, it could be a week, and I know that about myself. So I'm trying to like stop giving definite dates. So in 4 hours, this is going to happen. I'm like, oh, don't even do that anymore, because you know it will not happen in 4 hours. That's like that positive thing. But okay, let's stop. I got to get to work. So you all have a beautiful new moon. And I'll see you later today with some written horoscopes. Okay? All right. Bye.